Very good morning and one and all. So in the previous class we discussed about what is the armature reaction and what do you mean by armature reaction, what are the different effects of the armature reaction and demagnetizing effect and cross magnetizing effect. Because of these what are the problems we face in a DC generator, and then how to overcome this one by calculating ampere turns per pole. We have did derivations for that one, and also we solved problems on that one. Now the next topic is commutation and calculation of reactance voltage. Now I am going to explain about what is actually the mean of commutation in a DC generator, and how what is the importance of the reactance voltage in this commutation process. What happens if we didn't taken care of the commutation process in the DC generator? So I would like to explain this in detail by taking one example also. Right. Before going to that one, it's known to us the current induced in the armature conductance of a DC generator are purely alternating. Then why it is called DC generator? So at the end of the shaft of the DC generator, we are placing a commutator, a part called commutator, and this commutator will have a segment. So we have studied very clearly about the construction of this commutator in the constructional parts of the DC generator, right? And what is the function of this commutator? This commutator will collect the current from the armature winding, where the end connections are connected to the segments of the commutator, and it will convert the alternating natured voltage and current to the direct current or direct voltage. So the function of the commutator is used to convert the alternating current into like a direct current, right? In this process is called commutation. So here what actually happening at the segment of the commutator, when it is collecting, when the brush is collecting current from the commutator segments, right? So to understand this process, I would like to take an example. I will tell you very clearly about this one. So to make their flow unidirectional in the external circuit, we need a commutator. Here, what do you mean by commutation? So the process by which current in the short-circuited coil is reversed while it crosses the MNA is called commutation. A commutation is defined as it is a process by which in short-circuited coil is reversed while it crosses the magnetic neutral axis is called commutation. It is very clearly known to us. The brushes are placed on the MNA. So when the coils are moving with the help of the segment movement, right, what happens? Every coil is undergone through a short circuit, right? So this process of short circuit is called the commutation process, right? Now, a brief period during which a coil remains short circuited is known as a commutation period. So here there is one more term called as a commutation period. So here for what period this short circuit coil remains in short circuit, the particular coil remains in short circuit is called as a commutation period, and it is represented by T suffix C. C means the commutation and T means period, time. The time taken for the commutation process is called commutation period, right? So here I would like to explain this concept by taking the diagram here. Let we consider three coils for easy understanding. We are considering three coils: coil capital A, B, and C. I mentioned here. You can observe on the diagram. So and there are commutator segments which are represented with small a, small b, and small c. And there is a brush which was shown here of hashed areas, So here one point we need to remember that always the brushes are collecting the same current, right? Suppose if I am designed for 40 amperes collecting current from the brush through the commutator segments, always the brush has to collect the same amount of current from the commutator segments, right? So we are assuming that I am considering three coils, coil A, coil B, coil C, and we see how these coils are being getting short circuited during their rotation. So here, and I mentioned you small a, small b, small c are segments of the commutator, and we are starting with the first position. A brush is exactly coincides with the segment B here, and it is collecting 40 amperes. How it is collecting 40 amperes? We will go back here. So coil B is and each coil is supplying 20 amperes. We are considering. Right. Now, here 40 amperes is being collected by the brush, out of which 40 amperes, 20 amperes has been supplied by the coil B through this path. Similarly, coil C is also supplying 20 amperes through this path, through the segment small b to the brush. So, it is supplying the 40 amperes current which is required for the brush here. Right. This is the first instant. Now coming to the next instant, during the rotation of the armature, this commutator will rotate a little bit forward, in the forward direction, right? During that case, if you observe here, the area of contact with the segment A is a little bit reduced, and here the B is compared to the earlier case, it is reduced, and we had a new contact with the segment A. Now you consider, in the first case there is no contact with the segment A, but in the second instant here there is a small contact with the segment A, and here the contact is 3/4 contact with the segment B. Now during this case also the brush has to collect 40 amperes, right? So you see how this has been supplied by coils. Now if you consider, out of 40 amperes required, the brush is collecting current from the coil A is supplying 10 amperes, and the coil B and C together supplying 30 amperes through the segment B. So here also there is no problem, and the required 40 amperes is being obtained by segment C and B, totally 40 amperes, right? So this is a instant 2. Now instant 3, what happens? Still the armature is rotating, and the commutator segments also along with that rotating, and exactly the brush position will come in the middle of the these two segments, in the middle of the brush here. Now at this condition we observe that coil A is supplying 20 amperes, coil B is supplying 20 amperes, but there is no current being supplied by the coil B. This point is very important. So no current has been supplied by the coil B, and it has been short circuited with the brush through the segments here A and B. So this is called a short circuited started. Short circuited of the coil started here, and it will get ended the moment the brush is exactly in contact with the segment A. So your commutation period starts at this point, right? So now it is very clearly understood that 20 amperes is supplied from the coil A, and 20 amperes is supplied by coil C. Together 40 amperes is being supplied to the brush here. Now for the next instant what happens, we will see here. So still for the next continuation of rotation, what happens? The area of contact of this brush will be more with the segment A and reduced with the segment B. During that condition, what happens? So here now most of the current is being collected through the segment A from the coils A and B, and relatively less current is being supplied by coil C to the brush here. Now we can observe that coil A is supplying 20 amperes and coil B is supplying 10 amperes. Together 30 amperes is being supplied through the segment A to the brush here. So the remaining 10 is being collected from the coil C through the segment B. So again at this instant also all the 40 amperes is being supplied to the brush here. Fine. And we'll go to the next instant. Here what happens? If we observe the brush is exactly totally in contact with the segment A. At this condition, if it is designed properly, the machine designed properly, and it is following ideal commutation, then what has to happen? All the 40 amperes required for this brush has been supplied by coil A and coil B together 40 amperes, right? But here if you observe, we can understand one point. The coil A is supplying 20 amperes, no doubt. But what about the coil B? It is not supplying to all 20 amperes, but only it is supplying 15 amperes in the direction. So here if you observe, what is the total current that is required for the brush here? 40 amperes is required, but how much that is supplying here? 20 plus 15. So together it is supplying 35 amperes. But at any cost, the brush has to get been supplied by total 40 amperes. So what is the left out? So 5 amperes is required by the brush. So that 5 amperes is being supplied by the coil C through the segment B in the form of a spark. So when there is no proper commutation in the DC generator, it leads to the sparking at the brushes and the commutator segments. I discussed this point when I am discussing about the commutator at the time of starting during the construction period. So is this sparking is advisable at the commutator segment? No, not at all. No, not at all. So why? If we are not taken care of this sparking which is happening at the brushes, so this will lead to the further damage of the brushes and as well as the commutator segment surface. So this will be further progressively increases and there is a complete damage to the DC generator because of this poor commutation or bad commutation. So if we observe from the figure A to figure E, if you observe what happens actually, this contact of the brush has to be completely changed to the other segment A. But by the time the brush reaches completely the other segment, the current has to be completely reversed in the coil which is undergone through the short circuit. That is, this coil B has to supply by the end of this commutation process 20 amperes in the other direction. But how much it is supplying? Only 15 amperes. This shortfall current has been supplied by the coil C with in the form of spark here. That is the main problem here. So that process, this entire commutation process still explained with the graphical representation here. Finally, you'll see here, observe 0 to 20 amperes. So here AB is the 20 amperes. So in the during at the time of short circuit, there is a plus 20 amperes. And you see here, this graph has completely changed from reaches to 0 value, plus 20 reaches to 0 value, and again it reaches to, actually it has to reach to minus 20 amperes. And this period of time is called time of commutation. But if you observe actually in this particular case, what happens at the end of the time of commutation, what is actually meaning of that one? End of the commutation period means the moment completes the short circuit of the coil and reaches the exact contact with the other segment with the brush, then it is called the completion of the commutation process. So by this time, the coil current which is undergone through the short circuit has to reach the same value but of opposite direction. So but actually what happens, if you observe, FK is a minus 15 amperes. Actually what it should be, it is a minus 20 amperes. So this the shortfall of 5 amperes is flowing through the segment B to the brush in the form of sparking. So this dotted line is indicating, or this type of commutation is called as poor commutation or bad commutation. So this is a disadvantage. Having sparking at the commutation segments is a disadvantage, but it has to be nullified. But one point I would like to stress here: when the coil is subjected to the short circuit, a self-induced EMF will be induced in this coil. That is causing not allowing the changeover of the current in the reverse direction of complete magnitude. So this is the drawback. This reactance voltage we are going to calculate. in the coming discussion. So here, as I mentioned you, what is mean by ideal commutation, what do you mean by poor commutation. So if the sparking occurs at the commutator segments, it is called poor commutation. It is not at all advisable. So proper steps has to be taken to avoid this poor commutation. There are methods to improve commutation that we'll discuss in the coming classes. And what do you mean by the ideal commutation? If the ideal commutation is there, the performance of the DC generator will be good. So I explained in the previous slide the poor commutation and which one is called poor commutation, and then also ideal commutation. Right. Now we know that the self-induced EMF in the short-circuited coil is the reason for the poor commutation. So we have to know how much amount of this voltage has been induced in the short circuit coil, because every coil has to undergone through the short circuit when it is crossing the MNA or magnetic neutral axis, right? So for that one, I will do the small part of derivation here. Let me assume the width of the brush, where B is a suffix to the W, and WB is the brush width in centimeters we are considering, and Wm is the width of the mica insulation in centimeters. As I told you, when I am discussing about the construction of the commutator, there are number of copper segments will be there, and each and every copper segment is isolated with a mica, which is an insulating medium. So from segment to segment, there is a mica sheet which is acting as a best insulator. So Wm is the width of the mica insulation in centimeters we are assuming. Now coming to the B, here I am assuming B is the peripheral velocity of the commutator segments in centimeters per second. I am assuming that this is the peripheral velocity of the commutator segments in centimeters per second. Now I would like to calculate what is the time of commutation. It is also called as time of short circuit, that we have seen in the earlier diagram, which is your time of commutation. So from the point E to F is called time of commutation. So the moment at which the coil getting shorted to the moment at which the short circuit has completed. Time taken to reversal of the current from plus 20 to minus 20, or plus I to minus I, crossing through 0. So this TC is the time of commutation, right? TC is the time of commutation. It can also be called as a time of short circuit. So these can be calculated, the width of the brush minus width of the mica by peripheral velocity of the commutator segments. Now the TC value is known to you. TC value is known to you in terms of brush width and brush mica sheet width. We have assigned one formula for this one. Now we would like to calculate what is the amount of the reactance voltage. So this voltage is called self-induced EMF, or sometimes it is called as a reactance voltage. So this voltage is the main cause of poor commutation. So we must know how much amount of voltage is being induced in the short circuited coil. Like so, this is the formula for that one is nothing but inductance, self-inductance value into a rate of change of current. So rate of change of current. This can be L into, here I would like to tell one point. If I assume current I has to change during the reversal of the coil, it has to change from plus I to 0, again minus I. So it has to, then what is the change in current? Change in current, it is I minus of minus I. So it will give you 2I. The change in current is 2I. So that is why we are getting a rate of change of current here. So that is the rate of change of current is 2I within a time period of TC. Already we mentioned the time of commutation. So within a period of TC, the current has to get reversal from plus I to minus I. So the rate of change, the change in the current is 2I. So we can calculate the self-inductance, or the reactance voltage is nothing but self-inductance of the coil into rate of change of current in a particular time. So this can be calculated as L into 2I by TC. So this is the formula for calculation of reactance voltage for linear commutation. So coming to the another formula, the same reactance voltage can also be calculated for a sinusoidal commutation, that is 1.11 into L into 2I by TC. So these are the formulas for calculating reactance voltage for either linear commutation or sinusoidal commutation. So till now we have discussed about what is the meaning of commutation in a DC generator, and then how this process will go actually in the DC generator, and what is the meaning of ideal commutation, and what is the meaning of poor commutation or bad commutation. So, and what are the effects of this poor commutation also we have seen. So the effects of this poor commutation are sparking taking place at the commutator segments. Right. During the process of commutation, a reactance voltage has been induced in the short circuited coil. So, and at the same time, we extended the derivation for the calculating reactance voltage. Also, the formulas we derived right now. For having continuation, I would like to solve some problems based on this reactance voltage calculation. Right. Fine. This is a problem based on the reactance voltage calculation. You see, let me read out this problem. Calculate the reactance voltage for a machine having the following particulars. So, number of commutator segments are 55, revolutions per minute equal to 900, and the brush width is in commutator segments is 1.74. Quotient of self-inductance is 153 into 10 power minus 6 henries, and current per coil is 27 amperes. This is the data given. You need to understand what is the information that is given in the problem first. They mentioned we need to calculate reactance voltage, no doubt that formula is known to us. Now they mentioned about number of commutator segments. How many number of commutator segments are there? There are 55 commutator segments, and they have given a speed, revolutions per minute they have given, that is 900 revolutions per minute they have mentioned in the problem. And in this brush width also they have given in the commutator segments, that is 1.75 is width of the brush, that is WB in the formula. And they didn't talk about anything the mica sheet width, so we can neglect that because they didn't mention anything about the WM in the problem, so we can neglect that one. And the quotient of self inductance also they have mentioned, that is 153 into 10 power minus 6 henries. And one more information they have given, current per coil is 27 amperes. So with this information we are going to start the solving this problem. So I'll start here. Current per coil I equal to 27 amperes, fine, and L value they have mentioned in the problem 153 into 10 power minus 6 henries, and we can calculate the peripheral velocity which is represented by small v here in terms of segments they have given, like they have given revolutions per minute, and here 55 segments they have given, but we know the formula for V, the V units for the V is our peripheral velocity is number of segments per second. So 900 they have given in revolutions per minute. Now we are going to convert into number of segments per second. So this 900 by 60 we are considering because to convert into seconds, and 55 segments were given. So we have calculated the peripheral velocity in segments per second. That is by simplifying this one we will get 825 segments per second. Right. Till now we have calculated what are the parameters that are required to calculate our reactance voltage. And one more thing, we need to calculate commutation time, which is represented by TC. But actually what is the formula for commutation time TC? WB minus WM by small v, nothing but peripheral velocity, right? So here if you observe in this problem they didn't given the mica sheet width, so we can consider it as 0. So WB minus WM is 0. So this equation becomes TC equal to WB by V, where V is a peripheral velocity. So if you calculate TC substituting these values, they mentioned in the problem the WB is 1.74. In the problem they mentioned, what is this? 1.74. So 1.74 divided by, we have calculated peripheral velocity is 825 segments per second. So by simplifying this one we will get a TC commutation time is equal to 2.11 into 10 power minus 3 seconds. Now we calculated TC and we calculated peripheral velocity. Now we are going to substitute all these values required in the given formula for calculating reactance voltage. So the reactance voltage for linear commutation we are calculating. What is the formula for reactance voltage for linear commutation? So E is given by L into 2I by TC. This formula just now we derived, right? Now we are going to substitute those values in this equation. So E equal to, the L value is given 153 into 10 power minus 6, 2 into I value given, that is 27, divided by TC, a commutation time of commutation, that is we have calculated 2.11 in 10 power minus 3. That I have substituted here, and we can get the value of reactance voltage for linear commutation as 3.91 by simplifying this above equation, right? So till now we have solved one problem based on the reactance calculation. We will see one more problem based on this concept, right? This is the second problem, right? Let me read out this problem. A 4-pole lap-wound armature running at 1500 RPM delivers a current of 150 amperes and has 64 commutator segments. The brush spans 1.2 segments and inductance of each armature coil is 0.05 millihenries. Calculate the value of reactance voltage assuming a linear commutation and sinusoidal commutation. Neglect mica thickness. So in this problem they have mentioned that neglecting mica thickness. In the previous problem they didn't mention about the mica thickness, so we ourselves has neglected the mica thickness. So here I'll just mention what are the data that is given in this problem again. So it is a 4-pole mission. It is a lap wound, means lap wound A equal to number of parallel paths which is equivalent to P here, right? So and what is the speed at what speed it is rotating? 1500 RPM it is rotating. What is the load current here? They are mentioned here, it is 150 amperes. And they mentioned the number of commutator segments are 64. Here the brush spans about 1.2 segments. They mentioned the span is 1.2 segments here, and the inductance of the armature coil is mentioned 0.05 millihenries. Now we need to calculate the reactance voltage for both the conditions, like linear commutation and as well as sinusoidal commutation. We just know we derived the formulas for both of the conditions. We are going to substitute in those with the given data. Now let me read out this one. So E equal to the formula known to us, E equal to into self-inductance into 2I by TC, and L value is 0.05 10 power minus 3 henries. And width of the brush is 1.2 segments. And we need to calculate what is the peripheral velocity, because they mentioned the number of segments here, but we are going to calculate the segments in centimeters by seconds. We need to calculate per seconds. We need to calculate. They are given speed, right? So 1500 RPM by 60 into 64. So we can calculate the peripheral velocity, nothing but 1600 segments per second. So all that are required in the concerned units, so we calculated here peripheral velocity. Now I would like to calculate the time of commutation. TC is equal to WB minus WM. In this problem they mentioned neglect the mica width. So WM is 0. So simply it is 1.2 by 1600. By simplifying this one, we will get 7.5 into 10 power minus 4 seconds here. Now coming to the current calculation, because in the problem we need to calculate 2I by TC factor, right? So what is the current here? So to calculate the current, they mentioned it is a lap wound. In the lap wound current per path we need to calculate, right? How many parallel paths will be there in the lap wound? There are A equal to P, where P in the problem they mentioned it is 4. So we need to calculate here current equal to 150 amperes by 4, because here the number of parallel paths we need to consider. So per path we are calculating that. By simplifying this one we will get 37.5 amperes. So and after that, to make a calculation simple, first I am calculating this term, because they are asked to calculate for linear commutation and as well as sinusoidal commutation, right? So in the linear commutation and sinusoidal commutation, this parameter is constant. So first of all I am calculating 2I by TC parameter. This parameter I am calculating first. So 2 into what is I value per path? that is 37.5 amperes. Just now we have calculated, divided by what is TC, time of commutation is 7.5 into 10 power minus 4 seconds, right? So we are substituting here 7.5 into 10 power minus 4, and by simplifying this factor we will get 10 power 5 amperes per second. So this term what I am calculating 2I by Tc is common for both the linear commutation and as well as sinusoidal commutation. Right. First we will calculate it for linear commutation. For linear commutation the formula is inductance into L value into 2I by Tc. So I calculated it is 10 power 5 amperes per second. So what is the inductance value? They have given inductance value 0.05 into 10 power minus 3 multiplied with 10 power 5, which will give you 5 volts here. So for linear commutation the reactance voltage is 5 volts. Now they asked to calculate sinusoidal commutation also, for sinusoidal commutation also. So what is the formula for that one? The reactance voltage is equal to 1.11 into for linear commutation value. So this E equal to 1.11 into for linear commutation we already calculated this 5 value. The formula for this one is 1.11 into L into 2I by Tc. So already we calculated L into 2I by Tc, its value is 5 volts. So I am simply substituting that value here, multiplying with 1.11 for sinusoidal commutation. So the reactance voltage for sinusoidal commutation is 5.55 volts here. So in this class I discussed about what is the meaning of commutation in the DC generators, and what is the difference between ideal commutation and poor commutation, how actually the commutation process takes place at the segments. We have seen completely detailedly, and then we derived the reactance voltage, and we already know the importance of the reactance voltage, how it is used in the short circuited coil, and this itself causes a sparking at the brushes, and in order to know the value of the reactance voltage, we derived a formula for that one for both linear commutation and sinusoidal commutation, and based on that formula we solved 2 problems on this concept here. So today I would like to stop the class here at this topic, and we will continue the class with another topic in the next class. Thank you, Ananda.